wasn't actually pregnant at this time.
At that time. Okay.
So we think she's pregnant, me, my best friend, and his girlfriend. We go to the next bar, and we continue to drink, and my friend and his girlfriend are like, hey, like, this is, like, tapping each other. Like, she's pregnant? Like, this is weird. And it's just one of those things, like, after that, didn't see her again. I moved to California, and it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe a month or a few weeks before the baby was born if I ever talked to her again.
Is that, you mean like between the pregnancy? Or?
I didn't know about the, what do you call them, gender reveals. I didn't know about any of that stuff, the baby showers. I was in California, just living my life. I was out of the picture like we agreed upon. Everything was going to plan at this point.
I'm skipping a little bit ahead here, but were you in contact with or have you been in contact with the actual father?
No, I have not.
Not. Have you attempted to make contact, or?
I thought about reaching out, and I did not, because the more we dug, we figured out the more everybody on that side was hiding also. Okay,
so you think he was maybe potentially involved in some of the deception?
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. And he's dating Maria at the moment, or what's their? Are they together?
You might be better to explain this one.
Okay, well, yeah. So, like, I started digging into it for a good time. So, whenever she got pregnant, he was married with a baby at home, and that is pretty clear through just public, Facebook posts. After people started telling us who it was, and we were getting messages like, oh yeah, I thought he always knew that that was the dad. I was getting messages because people had been telling me to not date him, and he was a deadbeat for months. And
not date Brett.
To not date Brett.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we start dating, and people are like, have you not seen Maria's posts online? He's a deadbeat. You have kids. Don't date him. And I'm like, I watch him pay child support every month. I don't think he's a deadbeat. And they're like, no, Maria has said that he's just this horrible person. I'm like, okay, well, I'll be cautious. And so then whenever I start telling my friends, yeah, he's not even the dad, just one-on-one, I start hearing from people oh, apparently this is the dad. And so I start going to his public Facebook post, and I know when the baby was conceived, and I'm like, oh, he was definitely married then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. We'll come back to some of that, but going back, so she has the baby, but I guess right before leading up to it, she wanted you and your family, I think, to be there for the child's birth. Is that correct?
She started reaching out to my mom my mom has 2 different dates. I know for a fact I have proof of in January, she was texting my mom saying that, hey, my family's never been there for me. I have no one. Would you please take care of the baby if something ever happens to me? Maria is asking my mom that about her.
Right.
So my mom and dad, they have 3 granddaughters already, and they're full grandparent mode. They're telling me, hey, you should step up here. You need to be a father. There's going to be a little girl who grows up in the world without knowing who her father is, and you can just step up. She has no one. You should be there.
Wait, is this this isn't the first time the parents are discovering about?
No, so my brother Trent is actually the one who told my mom.
Okay.
I'm not even sure when, because they didn't bring it up until Maria started talking to my mom.
I see. But when Maria brought it up to your parents, were they aware of the nature of the arrangement, that you were just kind of, okay.
Yeah. It wasn't someone that I was dating randomly got pregnant. It was a planned, I'm going to be a sperm donor, and they knew that. And it's a weird thing.
Sure.
It's not a very normal thing that happens in everyday life. So it's just one of those things I imagine my parents are like, oh my God, my son's an idiot.
But so, and one clarification, you had the mimosas or the drinks with Maria, but there's some confusion as to whether she was actually pregnant at that point. But that, just to be clear, that was the last time you had spoken to her until closer to her.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. And then, but
there's not going to be, she wasn't pregnant. There's not
She wasn't
confusion.
she wasn't
Yeah.
pregnant then, but
She
But she said
told
she
me
was,
that she was
yeah.
pregnant. Yeah.
yeah. But then pretty much you fell out of contact with her after that.
Ghost
and-
mode, gone.
Ghost mode. And then how soon did she get back into touch with either you or your parents? Was it a couple
I don't
weeks
know. I
before
mean,
the?
It was at least January, November. My mom thinks she can't find the messages, but we know for sure with documented proof, January, and she was
Got
born
it.
in March.
The baby, okay, and were you there for the
I was.
delivery? Were your parents also there?
Yeah, we were the only three there. So
Okay.
I go there and I watched a stranger, super intimate thing, give birth to a child who I think is mine.
Yeah,
I don't know her middle name. I'm just sitting there like a stranger in the room. Why am I watching this? Like I can't explain it. Like I guess normally you would hold someone's hand, tell them you love them.
yeah, but you're just like a witness almost. Yeah.
I just feel like a fly on the wall watching this, and they hand the baby to me for the first time. The first person to ever hold the baby aside from the doctor. And you're looking at a baby that no one's ever told you to believe that couldn't be yours. Your whole life changes.
Right.
It is something as a father that you're looking at this baby and you're like, I'm going to do better. I've got to change my entire life. This baby needs a great future. And that's when immediately the attachment starts.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely got to be a pretty profound, even under the circumstances, it's like pretty profound moment. Was she, during the delivery, was she like trying to bond with you? Like, cause you said the holding the hand stuff, was she trying to do that with you, or
No,
she's kind of distant?
we're strangers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in terms of the pressure that she kind of started applying, there was a little bit in terms of towards her parents where she said, hey, I don't have anybody. If something happens to me, I would hope that you guys could, take care of the kid in such a circumstance. I guess start telling us about some of the escalations. So shortly after she was born, I think there was like a party at your house.
So I had an Airbnb at the time, and there was Easter coming up. So I fly, I spend a bunch of money on flights to come there for the birth, and then immediately I have to come back and spend another $900 or something on flights to come back for Easter. So I block off my Airbnb, and that's when I have my mom's entire side of the family, both my parents, brothers, cousins, everybody comes over, and Maria's invited. Everybody wants to meet the new baby. This is like the party to meet the new grandchild, cousin, whatever. And this is when my mom describes it as Maria. What was the word she used?
She said expecting something from you other than being like what y'all had agreed upon.
Yeah.
Because like I think the important context here is that your mom had said that she had been going to lunch with her while she was still pregnant, and like she was open with her, like he's just a sperm donor, he's not going to have to do anything. So it wasn't like just you. Your mom has said like that she has always said that to her too.
I mean, one of the first times, the first time my mom ever met Maria sat down with her at dinner and said, I just want you to let you know, I hope you don't think I'm taking advantage of your son. And then went into like, I know he has all these nice cars, all these nice toys, he has the money. My mom initially thought that was weird and strange, but like, you don't want to be the person